E-mini S&Ps end the week moving higher, and wait for it, yes, we did make another new all-time high, getting all the way up to 51.49. It is the 15th new all-time high that is printed in 2024. So it's been a busy year so far, even though it is only March 1st. Now, a lot of what we're seeing in equities, we look at the earnings reports, good and bad. We look at the economic data, it's very mixed. A lot of what stocks are looking at here is, when is the Fed going to start cutting rates? Now, today we heard from several Fed speakers, like we have most days this week, but ultimately we look at what Governor Waller said, and he talked about the need to tweak or even end the Fed's quantitative tightening, maybe a first step, and maybe taking rate cuts more aggressively. Fed fund futures are pricing in the first rate cut in June of this year. Now, we have seen June pretty much be on the map for the last several weeks. However, some of those expectations were backing off after we saw higher than expected inflation data earlier in February, but now starting to see it shift back. So when the stock market sees rate cuts coming, obviously it is attributing to some of the rally that we've seen here, and obviously making another new all-time high to close the week. Now, what does this mean for volatility? Well, volatility historically moves inversely to the indices. So as you can expect, as we make new all-time highs to the upside, volatility makes new moves to the downside. Didn't get to the year-to-date low yet, but clearly we saw volatility moving inversely to the indices this week. Lastly, let's talk about what we have next week. Well, next week we'll get a continuation of what we heard of this week. We get Mr. Powell, the Fed chair, speaking. He'll be doing his semi-annual testimony to both the House and the Senate. That will be what the market is looking for. They'll be looking for clarity, not only on what the Fed's been doing and possibly tweaking their quantitative tightening policy, but when are those rate cuts coming? Will the Fed chair give a more specific time frame than what we're looking at right now? Again, the market's expecting the first rate cut to be around June. But could the Fed chair talk about maybe that being sooner or later? Obviously, the market will be listening. We'll also be looking at the jobs report, which comes out on Friday. Now, on Wednesday, we'll get the ADP, Thursday claims, and then Friday, we get the non-farm payroll number. Last month was a big number for the non-farm payroll, up to over 300,000 new jobs. This month, expecting about up 200,000. We'll have to wait and see. So equities across the board, specifically in the E-minis, making it another new all-time high, getting as high as 51.49 on Friday, ahead of next week's Fed chair semi-annual testimony and the non-farm payroll number.